Hey y'all, it's your girl Claudia Jordan, and we are back with TGIF. We're here to spill the tea and break down the biggest headlines in the news and on social media, whatever's trending that y'all make trending that, we're going to go ahead and cover it. Now sit back, relax, and get ready to sip on this hot tea. Please welcome Al Reynolds. What's up, Al?
Hey, what's going on, Claudia? Happy
You good?
Monday.
You good? How was your weekend? You out in them streets?
Um, I was in the streets, Claudia. I got to be honest.
I heard. It made it back to Dallas. I was out the streets. Seriously, I heard. They said Al was out there. He was having good old time.
Oh,
For real.
You was outside, Al?
I was outside.
Al was outside.
I was
Okay.
outside.
Okay.
Is that why you drink? Is that why you drinking tea tonight? 'Cause he was not drinking tea last night.
Right. Not last night.
I done heard about you.
Spilled all my tea.
And I got back to Dallas. All right. And please welcome Armand Wiggins. What's up, Armand? How are you?
What's going on? I was inside last night because I was outside Friday and Saturday. And let me tell you, the older I get, I'm realizing it takes me longer and longer to recover. I think I'm going to go on a going out hiatus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard about you. I heard about you being outside too.
I
You was
still got my
outside.
tattoo from the glow party Saturday night, so I know I need to sit down somewhere.
Yeah, I heard you was outside over the weekend too. I think my friends been seeing y'all out. So all the way back to Dallas, all the way back. I'm like, they said your co-stars, co-hosts be outside. They be having fun. Okay, good. Now, Armand, we did make a little pact last week and a little showing of solidarity here that we were going to drink this week together. Are you? And I don't want people to think that I'm pressuring him. Do you feel pressured, first of all?
Absolutely.
Wow.
No. Just joking. I'm joking. No, I really want to drink. No, I told you I was going to drink. I'm drinking today.
Okay, Al. Okay, tea,
No. Water,
Vodka.
tea. Yep.
vodka, lemonade, and what are you drinking, Armand?
It's 1800 in watermelon juice.
Oh, that's some rich people stuff right there.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers. Okay.
I can hear it. I'm gonna let Al make it today because I can hear it. That's that recovery voice right there.
That voice is gravelly, boy.
Yeah. So I get it out. Tomorrow you'll be good. Tomorrow.
That's that Pedialyte, Gatorade one.
Plus, I had to teach this morning, and then I had to do another show before this one. This divorce is almost done, but we got this.
At a certain age, though, Al, we gotta sit down. We gotta drink water and hydrate those vocal cords because we cannot recover like we used to. I know I can't. All right. Let's get to these topics. Diddy is not bopping his way out of his sexual assault allegations without a fight. The rapper recently filed to dismiss a woman's lawsuit after she accused him of assaulting her back in 1991. Now, according to reports, the motion filed in a New York court claims Diddy cannot be sued because certain laws didn't exist when the allegations were made back in the 90s. All right, Al, we're going to go to you first. Sure. What are your thoughts?
So it's not that he can't be sued. He can't be sued under the terms of this particular lawsuit. So this young lady brought on a lawsuit regarding revenge porn because he filmed her and then shared it around. And we know that revenge porn didn't exist in the 90s, in the late 90s. She also sued under the Gender Motivated Crime Act of 2018, which is a sex trafficking law that was put in place after the Me Too movement, and we know that didn't exist in the 90s. And she also added Bad Boy and Combs Enterprise to the lawsuit, and they didn't exist in the 90s. So her and her lawyer just seems a little premature with this. I think they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board. Diddy's lawyer obviously is doing what lawyers do and what that good money pay for, and that's to get him out by any means necessary. And in this case, this is somewhat of a win for him.
Okay. All right. Armand, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Al. I feel like his lawyer is doing, what lawyers supposed to do. This is that good lawyering. And people may not like it, but although it may not be morally right for the revenge porn and the trafficking, however, if it wasn't illegal, then he shouldn't be sued for. So at this point, throw it out because, listen, I can't be sued for something that wasn't a crime back then. So I shouldn't be penalized for it today. So yeah. I'm with him. I don't want to be charged for something that wasn't a crime today, and now tomorrow it is.
Absolutely. I think he skates by in this one legally, but in the court of public opinion, he's still going to get another strike added to his already really, really damaged reputation. I do not know how he comes back from this. Bettina Lester said Diddy will not come back from this. Empire TV said whether or not he can be sued over a situation that happened in 91, it's still not a good look for him. And Fisheye Jedi said, let her get in where she fits in. He did it. Yeah, but you can't get, the law wasn't in place. Maybe there's a civil suit there, but then you definitely cannot get him. You can't get him to go to prison, go to jail. All right. Speaking of Diddy, former Danity Kane member Aubrey O'Day is spilling all the tea in TMZ's upcoming documentary, The Downfall of Diddy. Damn, they got it out there before Diddy. I mean, before 50. Now, I was looking forward to 50 Cent's documentary on this. Now, when she was asked about Diddy giving back the publishing rights to his former artist, she replied, I think he would probably be making moves to keep as many people quiet as possible. Aubrey also added that Diddy allegedly wanted his artists to sign a non-disclosure agreement about their experience at Bad Boy Records. Are you surprised? Real quick, I know a few people that are, under that label and that were given this offer, and it accounted to about $300 and some dollars for some of the artists. I know they weren't trying to give a lot of money to her, Day 26. And so he saw what was coming, the writing that was on the wall. And remember, this was a preemptive thing he did before the Cassie lawsuit came out. We were like, oh, wow, that's really nice of him. But yes, there was a motive. Armand, what do you think about this?
To add to your point, I remember when Aubrey came out and spoke about this, but like a lot of us, I was kind of judging her. I was like, you know what, the Danity Kane flop, you're just complaining. You look like you're just looking for clout. And a lot of people judged her in the comments. However, she knew, just like Diddy knew, that something was coming down the pipeline. So this isn't any new information. It's just now coming back because she's been the most consistent with her story. So I don't want anybody to trash Aubrey O'Day, because I see people also saying she's talking too much. She's just talking now. This woman has been on this for years at this point, and we did not believe her. However, I do think that Diddy was trying to pull a fast one on the people, because he saw this coming down the pipeline, and it's just not going to work no matter what he does, no matter what he can get away with, no matter what was illegal or illegal, then his career is done, because the people believe that he did it, and it's too much evidence coming out against him at this point.
Goodolf said Diddy learned it all from Clive Davis. Billy Little said Diddy did it so bad he tried to buy silence for that have never been around. Wait, what? Okay, I can't read that. DB said Diddy needs to go to jail. Anyone who supports abuse can go right along with them. Everybody ain't lying. Al, what do you think about this? What do you think about Aubrey O'Day?
I've said this on the show before. I was a fan of Aubrey O'Day. And like Armand said, she's always been consistent about her story and her dealings with the Diddy situation. And the way she was leaking the information and the way that she did interviews without hesitation, I could tell that she was either trying to do a show, a story, or an exclusive, but it did land her a documentary on Tubi, so there it works. And the good thing about Aubrey O'Day, you have to remember, Aubrey O'Day comes from a family of attorneys. So she's already vetted. She knew the legalities of everything that she said, how she said it, and how to present it to the media, and also how to package the deal without being sued. Good job.
I'm going to say this. I like Aubrey O'Day, and I'm going to say this. I think a lot of times when you're vocal about things, people think you're problematic, like, oh, here she goes again, or here he goes again. A lot of times when there's smoke, there's fire, y'all. And it takes a really brave person to stand up against such a powerhouse like a Diddy, who's backed by lots and lots and lots of money and other people in the business that don't want their secrets told. So I just want us to, like, moving forward, to try to not be so quick to dismiss people and think, oh, they're just doing it for clout. Because sometimes people are just trying to tell you as much as they can. And then there's also people that fear for their lives. I mean, there's allegations out there that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car, So if that's stuff that we're finding out, imagine the stuff that we haven't heard that has been done in the dark. And I will say, I agree with you. Aubrey, if you're watching this, we'd love to have you on the show, because you have been keeping the same energy for a very long time. You have been consistent on Twitter. You've never changed your story. And I respect you for that, because as a woman in that business, to go against a person that put you on, but rightfully so, you went for him. I have respect for you. I really do. Murphy L said, Danity Kane is not a flop. Diddy was a flop manager to every single artist ever. And so D'Angelo said, I feel like two things are true. Puffy has done his dirt and needs to be accountable, but Aubrey also has her own personal grievances because of how he did Danity Kane. Well, don't you think she has a right to have a personal grievance if he did their group poorly? Like, stop being on people's sides because they're more famous, y'all. That's why. That's how they get away with these things for so long. Okay. In other news, Fat Joe shared his perspective on femininity and non-traditional gender norms in today's hip hop culture. Check this out.
It feels like it's been a new trend, a new swag, a new style. Paint your nails, use a bag, wear a dress, this, right? And a million of them by now done wore, you know, the toughest one, my man's on Rico. Young Thug was wearing the skirts and this and this and that. These are the toughest. So it's safe to say it's a fad, it's a trend. And guys are like, yo, I'm going to get more, I'm going to go viral. I'm going to sell more.
All right. Fat Joe also discussed his experience at Beyonce's Renaissance tour and stated, is that what's going on? You know, the LGBT really supports, you know, so we got to act like that. Okay. Whoa. When we write what they say exactly, it'd be a little tongue twister sometimes. Okay. Now, do you think rappers are expressing themselves in hopes of getting attention? Al, what do you think?
I mean, they're entertainers, for God's sake. Of course. Like, isn't that what they're supposed to do? They're supposed to entertain. They're supposed to be rappers. They're supposed to be, you know, artists. I mean, I think that's what they do. The point he was driving, though, was not driving. It just didn't hit for me. I think I kind of understood what he was trying to say, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If I'm not mistaken, and maybe Armand can help me with this, was he saying that if you play into the LGBTQ community consumer base, then you're going to be more successful, and then playing into that is like painting your nails and wearing dresses? I totally
that's what he was saying. Yeah, that's what he was saying.
If that's what he was saying, he's got to do better, because he missed this completely, in my opinion.
Okay. Armand, what do you think?
I don't know. I think that they do it for attention, but I think it's a couple of things. I think at this point, you know, rappers now are wanting to get bags everywhere. And, you know, fashion is a big market for money. And so I think that when they express themselves a little bit more, it opens them up for more fashion opportunities and more brand deals and more opportunities in that. And then too, I just look at it like entertainers are like high fashion models in a sense. You know, when you go to a runway and you see avant-garde fashion, you wouldn't really wear that on the street. However, that avant-garde look gets kind of dumbed down for the masses to consume. So if we see little Uzi Vert maybe with a Birkin purse and a crop top and high heels, you know, the average person isn't going to wear that, but they might paint their nails and they might dye their hair if you're a little Uzi Vert fan and you want to kind of channel that fashion. So I figure they're the celebrities. They start at the top. They create the trends, and then it kind of trickles down to the masses. So I just think that's their job. They're influencers.
All right, Dr. Larry Speaks Truth said, if you don't have smoke for a rapper with face tattoos, let's not make an issue of them painting their nails. Fat Joe sounds dumb. I don't think he sounds dumb. I just think he didn't articulate it as clearly as he could, because I will say this. I do think there's a little bit of fear of like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Let me help you out, Fat Joe. I think what you're saying is you're seeing a lot of rappers kind of like using the community and the trends in the community to maybe sell more records. Now, if you're using trends, things that are popular in the community, it's not for me to say if I object or agree, because I'm not in that community. It's really up to the community. If they are okay with being appropriated like that and used for that, then hey, who are we to be mad? But if the community feels a way about straight men using their trends to kind of like garner, you know, get more record sales, I don't know. How do y'all feel about that? Do you think that, like, it's one thing when someone's living their truth, right? But it's one thing when someone's like, okay, let me go ahead and pretend and play gay so I can like get more attention. That's where I think it's a little bit kind of like, you know, I don't know.
Well, I will say this as a joke. When you start noticing like gay boys being more extra, is because we have to now, because the straight boys are looking like us. You know, it used to just be, you know, the gay boys are throwing blonde hair and that was enough. But now the straight men are wearing blonde hair and skirts. So now we got to wear blonde wigs, long nails, and dresses, because, you know, we got to differentiate the two. You know, the straight men are looking like us, so now we have to start going more gay.
So the straight men didn't come to play, and really, they don't live in the gay spaces. Okay.
So now we got to get more cut about it.
Right. Okay. Is Fat Joe talking about the community to get more attention himself, or is he just commenting? I think he has a right to comment. I don't think he's been a very problematic person. Do you guys think he's problematic? I don't.
I like Fat Joe. I just think he's an older guy that just is not understanding this kind of new generation in hip hop. And at this point, he's just like, is that what the young niggas is doing now? You know, and at this point, Fat Joe, you'll never get it because that'll never be your vibe.
Yeah. And I also get it. Like, listen, there's a crossroads now with the younger and the older generation where don't fault people for just growing up in a different time that they may not be up on that. That doesn't mean that they're homophobic or transphobic or haters. They just were raised differently, and they shouldn't be penalized by either. I don't think he said anything wrong. All right, coming up next, a Texas mayor received the unthinkable at City Hall, and later, Jeannie Mai is pulling out the guns. No pun intended. We'll be right back.
Scene 103, take one.
I thought we'd be on the same page about this, and we're not.
How do I know the way I'm going to respond to it?
I want you to get the vaccine because I want you to be safe.
What if you end up in the hospital? That's what I'm scared of.
If you was to die, man, that would literally kill me, man.
I hug you.
Yes. If it made you feel that way, bro, I'll probably do. Oh, man. I love you, too.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Welcome back to TGIF. Before we get started on this next segment, I just wanted to shout out my niece, Camille Jordan. She goes to UPenn. She's Ivy League student, freshman. She ran in her first Penn relays, and I flew in for the day to watch her, and she did amazing. I love you, Camille. Auntie Claudia is very proud of you. Not only are you amazing on the track, you're also pre-med. She's going to be a doctor, and I'm very, very proud of her. So my hat goes off to you, Queen. All right.
I heard the weather was pretty cold though for the runners. Is that true?
Yes, it was 59.
It was like below zero.
No, it was 50. It was 59 degrees. It was 59, 60. But that's cold for sprinters. But they were really doing their thing. Like, I was so excited. I'm like, I want to get my tickets for Paris and get out there for the Olympics because I was so hyped watching these races. It was real quick. They had a masters race, 80 and up. And then they had another race, 85 and up. The old men were running the 100-meter dash. It was so cute. And one of them got out. I mean, it was so slow, but for them, it was really good. It was amazing to see someone still have that much life in them. You know what I mean? It was cute. Maybe you want to dust up my track spikes. But all right. I want to pull a hamstring. All right. From dirty politicians to people speaking out against their governments all around the world, we're getting into the political tea with Claudia. All right, y'all. Arcola, Texas Mayor Fred Burton received a disturbing package at City Hall during the running for his fourth term in the mayoral election. A noose was delivered to his office with a note that stated, "Get out of this race now." Mayor Burton told reporters, "It's very disturbing that in 2024, we are still at this point of receiving this type of mail or someone doing this type of crime." Okay, Black people. We got to stop being so distracted by what this rapper is doing and what that celebrity is doing and that reality star is doing. It is time to buckle up, get inspired from what our relatives and our ancestors did in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. They didn't sit around and gossip about celebrities. They galvanized. They got together. They realized their buying power, their spending power, their voting power. We can't just sit back, complain, and post something on social media and be angry for a day or two. We have got to make our presence felt. We are not meek and mild-mannered and quiet. We have money, y'all, and we got to hit these people in their pockets. We have got to stick together. We have got to stop being distracted by things that don't affect our lives. The fact that these white supremacists feel comfortable enough to send a mayor, a government official, a noose is unbelievable. We have got to make this a bigger deal. And for the cowards that send these notes and these nooses, we're going to get back to a time where you're going to be fearful of us and what the pushback of these things are. I think y'all got really comfortable starting with Sarah Palin. She's the one that kicked off like getting these large crowds of white people getting really bold. And then Donald Trump picked up the baton and ran across the finish line. Well, he didn't run. He waddled across the finish line with it. And it made people really feel like there was safety in numbers, like, wow, there's a lot more people that think like me. This is a temporary thing. We're going through a short-term dark ages in America again. We will get back to right. We will get on the right track again. And when we do, look out, people that have done these types of things. To the mayor, keep your head up, brother. You do have people out here supporting you. And I know they passed a law in Texas where we can no longer protest in large groups, but we're going to ignore that, okay? The way they ignore our civil rights. So people out there, remember, let's stop being distracted by the nonsense and let's put our attention where it really matters in situations like this. Fellas, I want to go to you. What do you think about this unfortunate situation? Sending a noose to a black mayor, like it's beyond disrespectful. Armand, what do you think?
I think it's definitely disrespectful, but I hope that the mayor, takes this with a grain of salt and continues to be in the race and, not even really focus on it that much because these people are trying to frighten you and you let these people know I'm not afraid. I'm going to stand here. I'm going to stand my ground and I'm going to continue to run this race. At the end of the day, we cannot back down. And these little empty threats, these idle threats used to try to disengage us and make us fearful of our lives. We can't stand on that anymore. We have to push back, and pushing back is continuing the fight and having these conversations.
And get out there and vote him back in just
Absolutely.
on GP, right? Al, what do you think about this? Isn't it crazy? 2024 sending nooses to mayors?
Absolutely. But I think Texas is Texasing. And this is right outside of Houston, which is what's very alarming to me because Houston has the largest population of African Americans in the state of Texas. But let me tell you what this mayor needs to do. This mayor needs to do like the state of Virginia, California, no, it's Virginia, New York, and Connecticut, where they created a bill in that state that it is illegal. It is illegal to have a noose or to give somebody a noose in a disrespectful or in a violent manner like this. This is considered a hate crime. I think he needs to turn this lemon situation into lemonades and champion a bill for the entire state to stop this type of racial discrimination.
That's right. I feel you on that. And to you cowards out there, has history not taught you anything? You don't really win long term. You win out the gate, you get your little victories here and there, but it's really not long term. And keeping on the wrong side of history and karma and your so-called Christianity, and you will get your karma and you will get your get back one day. And hell is very hot. All right, moving on. It is. Let's move on to another topic. Simon Guobadia. That handsome Simon Guobadia is riding the attention wave after posting the following cash reward announcement. He wrote, I have increased the cash reward for any credible receipts of my cheating on any spouse from June 14th, 2019 through February 22nd, 2024. Reward has changed from $50,000 to $100,000. Challenge others to do the same. What are your thoughts on this mess? And let me text Fallon so I can see if we can get this 100,000. We can split this real quick. Al, what you think about this $100,000 reward?
I find this so fascinating. We're reporting on Simon every week.
Yeah.
Simon needs a peach. We don't want Portia no more. We want Simon. That man knows how to work the internet. He knows how to get attention. He knows how to make the headlines. He's almost 60 years old, and he knows how to get in those blogs and get on our show, TGIF, literally every week. He's a very cunning dude, and he's becoming so interesting that he soon will be famous. You know who he reminds me of? Not saying in attitude and personality, but I'm talking about how one of the male like Peter Thomas, the male, one of the husbands of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, became very famous, you know, just because of his personality and all of that. I think Simon is on the road to being an interesting character. I don't know if it's in reality TV or not, but one thing that this man knows how to do is stay in those blogs and stay in the headlines.
He does. He really, really does. And I believe that's what he wanted all along when he pushed Fallon to get on Housewives and then he married Portia. Armand, I know you're a big Portia fan. What do you think about this? And this is not about shading Portia. This is about Simon. Simon, we coming for you, Simon.
Well, first of all, doesn't he have like a jet debt bill? So you giving out free money when you owe like millions of dollars to the jet company, right? At least $1 million. But I personally feel as though this proves nothing because anybody can put up a poll like that on social media. At the end of the day, you'll never know if anybody provided the receipt or not. How do you know who won? You know what I mean? There's plenty of scammers that do these little things online, and you never know who the winner is because, I mean, there's no way to really tell. And then for us, you know, what is a credible receipt, Simon? You know, what does that look like, and how do we prove that it's credible? Are you the judge of the credibility? Because if that's the case, you're never going to have to come up off the money. So at the end of the day, I just think he's trolling and he's doing his thing to stay in the algorithm. But this contest is a bunch of baloney because there's never going to be a winner, whether it was right or wrong, true or false.
Let me find some evidence. I will submit. Simon, I'm trying to come for that $100,000. I would love to get that $100,000 from you. Someone said that, didn't he cheat on Portia? I mean, on Fallon with Portia? Like, didn't something come out where allegedly. But Simon, I feel like you're getting a little arrogant maybe, and that might come back to bite you in the booty. You know, I know you feeling yourself now. You got your new teeth and you got your little Zempic and you feeling real sexy, real sassy and real arrogant maybe. But there are people that know your tea, trust and believe. And a lot of people do know your tea, like your real tea, how you got wealthy, how you got money, how that wire came through. I know about that. Anyways, go ahead, Armand.
Let me ask this, though. But how do we know? I mean, this could just be a big conspiracy. But how do we know that, you know, because Portia's been kind of quiet. So how do we know that this is not a part of the play for the storyline? Like, Simon, you go out and you embarrass her and you say all these things. And then, boom, she comes back on TV and tells her story about all these posts and all this that he was doing. Like, all of this still helps Portia's housewife storyline. All of this that Simon is doing, she can parlay this into her storyline. So I don't know. This still feels like producing to me.
I did think about that because, like, for the last year, year and a half that they were married, it was like we didn't really hear any drama about them. It was very quiet. Then when Portia gets the peach back, all of a sudden, every other week or every week, there's something about them. And it will make for good marketing because don't you want to watch and see now? And, you know, Real Housewives of Atlanta was really struggling. Their ratings went from highs of 4.5 million to 4, 5, 6, 700,000 viewers. So, I mean, why would you not throw a Hail Mary to kind of get this kind of interest, jimmy up this kind of interest for your show?
But they don't start taping. Do they tape in November or they start back in November or the show comes back up in November? So they're taping now.
They usually start taping. I think we taped like in the summer. Like June. Yeah. And then it came out in like November. But you never know because sometimes, hey, Bravo has the money. If things pop and they can be like, hey, let's get some cameras over there right now. Lee Poetry said, Simon is always in the news. He's the new Peter Thomas. And Billy Little said, a man without a job can't promise me $1. And he also, remember, Simon filed a lawsuit to get her to not discuss him on the show or film at his home. But even that could be fake. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know.
That's the sensationalism of it all.
As the culture turns, says Sasha Gabadia, who's that? Went from eating women's peaches to walking around with a peach. And then Henry Gibbons said, those networks aren't going to pay him any attention. He has to go get his own. Oh, Coco, damn, y'all calling him all kind of names except Simon. Coco McCoy said, Salmon is not cute nowhere. I'm sick of seeing his scamming AS, you know, repeat. Okay. Coming up next, Jeannie Mai is revealing some serious allegations against Jeezy, and later find out how a New York district attorney tried to Karen her way out of a speeding ticket. And this Karen was definitely Karening. We'll be right back. Wasn't she? We'll be right back.
TGIF.
Can you imagine 30 million people walking around sexually frustrated because they can't get to their porn?
You're looking at one right now. I'm going to say this.
Every weekday.
I'll never live in Texas again. It's the worst.
What's your favorite porn, Armand?
Oh, I'm not getting into that. My God.
On Fox Soul.
Now what's yours?
And listen, don't judge me, okay? Massage porn.
That's boring now. Give me a good three-way gang.
Oh, I knew it was gonna come out.
Yes, yes.
When I got the opportunity to get her, there wasn't no choice. I told myself, I'm gonna take custody of my daughter. It's my baby. That's what we're supposed to do as men. Take care of our home, build a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Love, our money, she's my purpose. I'm here to walk with her, hold her hand until she can walk alone. Ain't nothing like being a father in this world.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
Welcome back to TGIF. Shout out to all the soulmates in the chat. Okay, we see y'all. Put some flames in the chat if you are enjoying the show. All right. Jeezy is appearing unbothered after Jeannie Mai accused him of leaving an unsecured assault rifle around their 2-year-old daughter. Now, Jeezy posted his cover of Sheen magazine and wrote, "Surviving and thriving." What are your thoughts on Jeannie's recent allegations? And do you think she's reaching at this point, or is she just telling it like it is? Armand, what do you think?
She probably is telling the truth. Now, you know, people are saying like Jeezy is unbothered, but I'm like, what is he supposed to say? Miserable and broke? Of course he's going to play this game like he's unbothered. You know, that's what you're supposed to do when you're going through a breakup. This is social media. You're not going to do a campaign and try to act like you're just so miserable, especially as a man. However, I do feel as though he probably did have guns laying around. And the kids were around. Now, do I feel like it was right where a kid probably can pick it up and just start shooting themselves? No, but at the same time, if it's in eye view in any way, she could still use that against him and say, hey, there was a gun on the table. My son was in the room. You know, so at the end of the day, it's getting messy, it's getting dirty, and she's playing the semantic game. So this is kind of what it is. It's just unfortunate that one of the people that you're closest to, that you trust, that you bear a child with, is coming at you in this way.
Yeah, you know what sucks though? When you're close to somebody and you tell them stuff or you share stuff with them, and at the time they're cool with it, they're okay with it, or they don't say anything, but then when you break up or you're not friends anymore, they use every single thing you ever told them in confidence against you. And it is true, but
it is. But it's a technicality.
It is. All right, Al, what do you think?
Listen, Jeannie Mai, or that's her name, Jeannie Mai, is unloading the truck. She's backed the truck up and she's unloading it. And let me tell you something, leaving guns around is not reaching around kids where kids can get access to them. And she is showing and giving the proof to show how negligent it was on Jeezy's side. To me, this is just sad. But I'm looking at her side eye for two reasons, not because of the guns, but how she's now unloading everything. Don't you think it's interesting and timely that she didn't lead the divorce with that he was abusive? Now she's backtracking, and now she's bringing in assault, domestic violence, and abuse as a reason to tack on to her original divorce complaint. I just find that all very interesting, because if I was an abused woman, like she says she is, and not saying that she's not, because she does have proof, why didn't she include all of that in the initial divorce filing? I'm not understanding this whole thing, but whatever it is, the gloves are off for her. She's not only said that, it was infidelity, she's saying that it was also assault. He used domestic violence against her, physically assault her, and now that he provides an unsafe environment for the child. I mean, she's unloading it all.
I wonder what really it is, though. I do.
Yeah.
I know I try to see both sides. Like on one hand, I'm like, okay, if you're truly abused, then a lot of times your mind is abused, right? And you make excuses for your abuser, and you don't want to say that because you kind of deep down hope that he'll change and come back and get you and yell right off into the sunset. Or is it a case of I was with it when we was together, but now that we ain't together, F it, I'm gonna throw the whole kitchen sink at you. We don't really know, and that's what's frustrating about all this because at the end of the day, nobody better be lying to us about this, because we take stances on this and we sometimes, not crucify, but we kind of go in on people based on the knowledge that we know and the facts that we have at the time. And I'd hate to be wrong about this. I really would hate to be wrong about this. So I'm trying to be safe. New York said, don't talk now. It wasn't a problem when y'all were in love. You thought it was gangster. Then Mina C said you should have married her for publicity. And so D'Angelo, who stays pop in the comments, says if Jeezy had those guns around after the divorce announcement, he had them around when they were still married. It was only the issue now that he wants to leave her. It seems like the soulmates are divided.
No. The guns around are for custody of the child. So she's saying that it's unsafe environment for him to have, share custody, joint custody. She's saying that guns are laying around and I don't feel safe to letting my child go over there unsupervised with guns laying around. You know what I think is so interesting though? She's got a good lawyer and that lawyer is like, okay, look, lady, what do you want? You want to win this or you want to lose this? And clearly she said, okay, lawyer lady, I want to win this. And this woman is taking everything that ever happened in their relationship.
That's the problem.
Throwing it out on the line to make Jeezy look bad.
That's the problem.
Nana Oben said, Al, that's because she was playing nice at first. And that does happen. You don't want to say everything. And then you maybe, I think at first she hoped for a reconciliation. I really do. I think she did, my opinion. Bougie Barbie said, I would love the real story. They were all over each other and that fizzled out quick. I just know something crazy happened. All right, I'm sure this won't be the last of it that we hear about it, and we'll be talking about it when we get an update. Singer Billie Eilish revealed that one of her secret obsessions is masturbation. Billie told Rolling Stone, TMI, but self-pleasure is an enormous part of my life and a huge help for me. And she added, people should be jerking it, man. I can't stress it enough. As somebody with extreme body issues and dysmorphia, that I've had my entire life. All right, y'all, what are your thoughts? And tell us about one of your secret obsessions. Al, what do you think about this obsession with
always good to me when it comes to the weird stuff.
The sex stuff? Oh, it's on you
exactly.
first. Absolutely.
So I got to be honest with you. This whole conversation about her masturbating and talking about you got to jerk on it. You don't have a penis, lady. What are you jerking on to masturbate? I thought you're supposed to massage in a rotating circular motion, but it made me uncomfortable because I just remember when she first came out, she was 13 and she took over the music industry by storm when her first song that she wrote with her brother went viral. So to see this 13-year-old girl talking about jerk on it, I'm just like, wow, what is going on with her? And I just want to say, just in general, if you read her article about coming out and how she made a mistake of coming out, she's just very awkward when it comes to doing interviews and talking. And this is just another example of that.
Okay. Armand, what do you think?
I mean, I kind of get what she was saying as far as her body dysmorphia and she's finding, herself sexy. And so that's kind of why she does it in that way. Maybe that's her weird artistic way. For me, it would just be girl, if that's why you're masturbating so much to find yourself attractive, go seek therapy. Now, for me, I get it. Everybody likes a good flick here and there. I do too. But here's the thing. I wouldn't encourage people to really go down that hellhole of masturbation too long because for me, it can really kill a lot of time. All right, you can be doing that and scrolling for so long, and before you know it, the whole day is gone because you didn't sit around and played with yourself all day. You know what I mean? So I would say, listen, it happens. So you got to watch yourself on that. So I wouldn't encourage everybody to just sit and masturbate.
Is this coming from personal experience of ours?
Yes, I have wasted a lot of time.
Have you spent the whole day? What's the longest you masturbated on?
Oh, what in the world did you wear? Was it hurting afterwards?
You just be bored. So you waste time. But then too, though, on a serious note, you have to watch that stuff too, just because you get a lot of weird things. Like, you got to have a limit to that stuff, because then it can kind of trigger the mind into like weird things. And that's why you have people going into stores and going into restaurants doing really perverted things, because they're over driving into porn. Or then you have a lot of men cheating on their wives and buying prostitutes because they have a porn addiction. So you don't want to slip into an addiction either. So I wouldn't encourage people to just sit and masturbate all day. I don't think it's healthy.
So you're saying basically you don't want her to go down a slippery slope, and it could lead her to other things, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm gonna say this. I always go with why do we need to know? I think when people like have to lead with this stuff and tell us all their business, deep down inside, you think you're boring. Outside of you singing, like, why do you have to tell us this? Are there not any other interesting facts about you than I play with my vagina for hours on end? I don't give a damn about this. I don't care. Why do I need to know that you play with your vagina that all women have? And why is this breaking news? Why do we have to hear your business so much?
Claudia, when you masturbate, do you jerk yours?
I don't have a penis, so
I know, but she says she jerks hers.
Yeah, it's too hot. I mean, Billie, are you trying to tell us? Do you have a peen? Why? Is it an imaginary peen? Do you identify as having a peen? I'm so sick of the world today with all this nonsense. Just make your music and please wash your hands after you masturbate.
Now, some women do jerk theirs. Don't do that. Some women have penises.
Teach me. I don't.
What? No.
Yes, they do.
No.
Yes, they do. Some women have penises.
Oh, trans women.
They're women.
Oh, okay. I get that. But she's not the trans.
Look at Claudia. I'm just saying, you can jerk it or you can massage it. It goes both ways.
Armand, I need
no more alcohol.
See what happens.
You go sit around all day and play with yourself.
Oh,
moving on.
Feeling real good.
Like things I never thought I'd hear when I was 20 years old. She does have a penis. I jerked it. No, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm old.
no.
Yes, she does.
Jerk her penis. I mean, she did not jerk her vagina.
Okay. I'm tired, y'all. Keep it locked, because coming up next, a New York district attorney is under fire, and later find out if Tashina Arnold would be okay with her mate cheating. Uh-oh. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
You know how to fry
chicken?
No, I don't.
Oh, you ain't got no money.
Give me that black card back.
TGIF.
It's not about blackness. I don't make any fried foods, okay?
Boo!
The chat is going in about this fried chicken. Lynette19 said, I am blackity black, and fried chicken is not my favorite go-to meal. Stop with the stereotypes, okay?
Live and interactive.
Oh, Al, you don't even cook, please.
Fried chicken, fried fish. Come on, baby.
On Fox Soul.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around. And I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Welcome back to TGIF. So I'm looking at the comments during the break, and I love our soulmates. Empire TV, who often comments on the chat, says, from politics to tugging coochie. That's TGIF for you. Hey, we aim to give you range and levels and balance, right? We're gonna give you, I know the Breakfast Club says they righteous and ratchet, but I think we are righteous and ratchet, and we give you a proper that. So yeah, we all doing that. All right. New York District Attorney Sandra Dorley pulled a super Karen after police attempted to pull her over for driving 55 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. Take a look.
I don't know why you're acting like this towards me. Because can you please go to the back of the vehicle?
I'm not going to. I'm home. Okay, 55.
I don't care if you got home. You were supposed to stop at Phillips Road when I pulled you over. When my lights were initiated.
I didn't know you were stopping me. There was lots of other people on the road.
I was right behind you.
Yeah? There were other people on the road too.
Okay, I was directly behind you.
I'm not dealing with you right now.
Can you please step over here?
I'm not going to.
If we were back in the day when we were not doing clean shows, I would say this, because who the hell do you think you are? You are someone that probably sits up there and convicts people all day long for this and lesser things, depending on how you feel about them and your preconceived notions about them. And here you are thinking that you can give all these BS rules, rebuttals to a simple question. Why did you not stop? You didn't stop because you're an entitled white woman and you think the law doesn't apply to you because she says, what am I going to do? Prosecute myself? Lady, you're supposed, just like in the church, you are supposed to be the shining example. And doing all of this, and now that we see the video, why would anyone in New York think that they would have to comply if you're not complying? I want to ask you fellas, are you surprised? And do you think police would have treated her fairly or like this? We already know the answer to this. If she were black, Al, go ahead. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely not. They wouldn't have treated her like this. Okay, at the end of the day, let's be very clear. She should be arrested and charged with resisting arrest. There is nowhere in America anybody that looks like you and I cannot pay attention to a cop and drive all the way home after being pulled over for a traffic violation. Now, let me tell you, this really gets good because her complete abuse of power has now caught the attention of the governor of New York. And the governor of New York has now launched an investigation into her and her office, which I think is amazing because 9 councilmen are also asking for her to resign now because of this abuse of power. Now, if you want to get all the tea, be sure to come on over to my YouTube channel, to my Court of Public Opinion, because we covered this. But this is the deal. They are saying, and people are saying, that if she evades the law for her convenience like this, can you imagine what she did in other cases that she had that came out of her office, in other deals that she dealt with that were either in her favor or not, or for her favor or not? Like I say, and this looks like to me, this is not the first time that she's done something like this, but this is definitely the first time that she's got caught.
And she's got that official Karen haircut, doesn't she? Put that picture back up real quick. Look at that. That is the long version and that shorter version, the little asymmetrical. Every single time. Armand, what you think about this happening?
First of all, I just feel like the conversation wouldn't have went that long without backup being called if it was a black person. Immediately, she wouldn't even got that far. It would have been 2, 3, 4 police cars going crazy, guns drawn. She probably would have been tackled down, arrested. Going into your house is crazy. Handing the police officer the phone is crazy. Like, there's no way in this world, if it were a black person, that you could tell them to get on the phone and talk to somebody. You know what I mean? That just doesn't fly when it comes to black people. You're not going to sit in the comfort of your home and argue with the police officer as a black person. You just don't have that right. So it just goes to show that she has no respect for the law. She obviously had no respect for that police officer. She feels above him, and she feels like she has seniority within that, judicial system, and she feels like she knows more than him, and she just needs to make a call. And she told him, I was wrong. It is what it is, pretty much. So I think, at this point, for her not to be fired on the spot is already a problem. So I'm glad they're launching an investigation, but she doesn't need to be working because then she apologized, but didn't even directly apologize to the officer. So it's very nasty. She should lose her job.
Claudia, isn't she an officer of the court? She carries a badge. So, you know, it's not that people in her position have done this type of stuff before, like getting pulled over and then being let off. The problem is she just never pulled over and didn't care. It drove all the way home. And then you see he's having a conversation with her in the garage. And she's so privileged. She says, oh, yeah, my badge is in the car if you need to see it.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
And went and pulled it out. In what world could a black person go and pull something out the car?
Right.
Two people, both sides were wrong in the way this whole thing went down. And because we have it on video, as a Black American, I'm very offended by this. As someone who witnessed Tamir Rice being a 12-year-old kid playing with a gun in a park, they gave him 1.5 seconds, no questions asked, pulled out guns and killed this little boy. Now, I know it's a little bit apples to oranges, but I'm talking about the mentality of how patient these police officers were with this white woman. All these excuses, giving her all the time to go in her purse and grab things. When you're Black, you got to keep your hands at 10 and 2. You got to look forward. You could never get away with this. And when our police officers asking you if you could please come outside so we can kind of talk to you about this, this is unbelievable. And I'm sick of people who think that Black people are crying wolf when we talk about racism in America because you're sick of hearing about it. But we're sick of experiencing it. And when we see people like this, and this wasn't New York City, this was upstate New York. When we see this type of nonsense, how do you think this makes us feel? When we see you actually do have the capacity to be patient, kind, and extremely understanding, depending on the skin color. F out of here. Sandra Bland did not get this type of grace, but this woman, you gave her all kinds of leeway. All right, coming up, would you prefer to know if you have been cheated on or not? Let's talk about it when we return.
You know how to
fry chicken?
No, I don't.
You ain't got no
Give me that black card back.
TGIF.
It's not about Blackness. I don't make any fried foods, okay?
Boo!
The chat is going in about this fried chicken. Lynette19 said, I am blackity black and fried chicken is not my favorite go-to meal. Stop with the stereotypes, okay?
Live and interactive.
Oh, Al, you don't even cook, please.
Fried chicken, fried fish. Come on, baby.
On Fox Soul.
When I got the opportunity to get her, there wasn't no choice. I told myself, I'm gonna take custody of my daughter. It's my baby. That's what we're supposed to do as men. Take care of our home, build a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Love, our money, she's my purpose. I'm here to walk with her, hold her hand until she can walk alone. Ain't nothing like being a father in this world.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
Welcome back to TGIF. All right, y'all, during a recent interview on The Talk, Tashina Arnold revealed that she would like to know if her significant other is cheating. Well, Keke Palmer reposted the interview and wrote, what's worse, being cheated on or never knowing that you were cheated on? Armand, we're going to go to you first. What do you think?
I feel like I would want to know if I was cheated on. And the only reason why I would want to know is because if you come to me with a confidence and say, hey, I cheated on you, I know that you care. I know that you feel bad about what you did and you really care enough about the relationship, but you made a mistake. So I'm more likely to forgive, although it may not happen, but I'm more likely to forgive and we can move on amicably if we end up separating than if I have to find out, because then at that point, I'm burning the bridges. But yeah, so let me know, just for the respectability of it all.
Okay, Al, what do you think?
I love me some Tashina Arnold, and this is why. She's like, tell me, I need to know. She said, I don't want to be in La La Land. And I got to say, I completely agree with her. I want to know if you're cheating on me, right? I'm not saying I'm going to leave because it depends on the circumstances, but I definitely want to know so I'll know how to move in the future.
Yeah, never knowing, I think you can continue to be embarrassed time after time again, because like you didn't know what happened. And then you might be still speaking glowingly about your ex, like, oh, he was such a good guy. And everyone's like, they laugh and they know that you was getting like totally disrespected. And everyone knowing but you is something that is one of my biggest fears. I think that is extremely embarrassing. But if someone has the maturity, the balls, and the respect for you to say, listen, I made a mistake and I'm sorry. And even if you didn't, you weren't even going to find out and I'm letting you know, that to me is huge. That is saying, you didn't know and I could have gotten away with this, but I care that you are not made a fool of again and again and again. So I can rock with people that kind of fess up to their mistakes. And that goes for across the board. Wanda said, I prefer to know as long as I have someone hot to lay under for the get back. Oh, yeah, the get back.
That's what I
get
said.
back. Princess said, never knowing is worse than being cheated on. And your average logical thinker said, nah, if they tell you, they're hoping you break it off. And Burns Ray said, I prefer to be told that you want to cheat before you cheat. Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Well, that ain't going to happen.
Nah, you can catch a brother like mid-stroke and with his pants around his ankles, halfway in that thing. Wasn't me. That's just your lying eyes. So no, we need to, yeah. Doja Cat is calling out the parents of her fans for scolding her about the provocativeness of her music. She wrote, I don't know what the bleep you think this is, but I don't make music for children, so leave your kids at home, bleep. She added, I'm rapping about bleep. Why are you bringing your offspring to my show, rapping about eating bleep and pissing on his V-cut? Leave your mistake at home. Oh, she calling kids mistakes. She's shady. She could be in my group chat. Okay, does she have a point, Al? What you think?
I'm not mad at it. I mean, she could have left out the dig calling people's kids mistakes, but she's always been very clear that her music is not for kids and that her music is very sexually explicit, and it should require someone to be of a certain age in order to attend her concerts. And I don't understand why parents are taking their kids to this type of environment. What happened to the days? I don't know about you guys, but when I was growing up, there were certain concerts I could not go to until I was a certain age. It wasn't like, oh, if I'm 15 and I want to go see a rap, go see 50 Cent. It wasn't like that. My mother was like, no, A, it's not safe, and B, you just aren't of age to consume that content. What happened to the parents that believed like that?
All right, I hear you. Armand, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest Doja Cat fan, but I agree with her here. And most artists are not trying to be your kid's idol. This is not American Idol. They're not trying to be, Taylor Swift or anything like that. Listen, Doja Cat also, while she raps about all that stuff, she also poses as a demon and wears blood suits and all that stuff. So it's a 365-day Halloween with her as well. So at the end of the day, I don't know why people are so shocked. You know what I mean? I just feel like you could see her outer aesthetic. She's not a kid-friendly, artist. And at the end of the day, she shouldn't have to be. And as far as her calling the kids a mistake, hey, you call her, she's probably been called worse online. So if she got her one dig back at some people that were talking about her, I'm here for it, because these people get online and they start talking out the side of their neck. So sometimes you need to trash them back. So I ain't mad at her. Do you? Don't bring your kids to your concert, and don't expect artists and celebrities to raise your children. That is your job, not theirs.
Goonies Are Good Enough said the mistake is referring to the parent mistakenly bringing their child to the concert. That makes sense. I will say this. Must be so frustrating if you just want to make sexy music for adults and you're constantly being held to a standard that's to like 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. And you're like, this ain't for them anyways. I'm talking about sex. And parents do a better job of screening the music that before you go to the concert, so you know exactly what you're bringing your kids to. It is not just Doja Cat. It's like a lot of these sexually explicit lyrics that are out there. That's your job to do that. And the artist should not be raising your kids. Yes, there is some responsibility of being a role model out there once you're famous, but you should not be held responsible for raising anyone's kids and making parents, you've got to distinguish what's age appropriate for your child or not. I think these people are out of control. All right, Armand, one last drink before we go. Come on.
All right, let's finish it up. Come on, Al, join in it.
I have tea.
Well, you need that tea.
We're on tea right now, but I'm done.
All right, I want to thank my co-hosts, Al Reynolds and Armand Wiggins, for joining me tonight. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Stay tuned. Fox Soul's Face Up, where they be arguing each other down, is coming up next. We'll be back tomorrow. They be going in. We'll see you later. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Have a good night.